Welcome to the Strongman Say podcast, episode something. I'm not entirely sure what we're
Episode
up to.
more than 3.
Yeah.
Longer than I thought this would go.
Yeah. Damn it. Today we're going to talk about, or do a bit of a wrap up of 2022 and the strongman scene, maybe give some highlights, etc., etc. But before we kick that off, Middleweight Series that we competed at last weekend, how did you feel like you went? What did you think of the comp? Hit us with your feedback, thoughts.
I went probably about as good as I could. Training-wise, I was training for Vicks, not that.
Yeah.
So it was very much a go in and wing it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I messed anything up. I think I got more reps on the deadlift than what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
Or tried for.
I think you're being modest. I think you did excellent. I think you performed very well. I think you executed very well.
Yeah, stone still annoys me.
Yeah, 190 stone should probably be there.
It either is or it isn't.
Yeah, it's that number.
With 2 attempts,
yeah,
I can either manage it through my knees and make it work, or I just mistime it. Like, it comes off the ground easy.
Yeah.
Gets to my knees, and I'm like, it's in the wrong spot.
It's just that size thing when it gets to that.
And I can't do anything with it there besides drop it and try again.
Yeah.
Because we had 2 attempts, and I haven't trained stones.
You didn't have the groove.
Yeah.
You didn't like have the kind of feel thing or know where.
No.
Like just that small amount of work where you kind of start to get a little bit better like understanding of like the size and how to manage it through that like
or the desire to really do it.
Yeah, or that.
Like I wanted to do it, but at the same time I was like, I'll just do 160, 170, 180 and then be done.
Yeah.
And then I think Sam couldn't get 170 and I'm like, all right, so I've won the event.
Yeah.
All the 105s are doing 190.
May as well have a crack. 190. Yeah.
But didn't have the intention of actually doing that.
Yeah.
Last minute call.
I mean, the good thing is having trained for Vicks, which was quite heavy, and then having a few weeks just to dial a few things in for the Middleweight Series, which was, I mean, not overall actually not that light, but still a far lighter competition.
Yep.
An easier competition to kind of jump into and wing it a little bit more, I think.
It was a lighter competition, but it was very fast.
Yeah.
So,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're strong but you're not quick or you screwed up, it would have cost you a lot of points.
Yeah, totally agree.
So just different format. Heaps of fun though. Quick comp, done in 5 hours.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, I loved it.
I hate a long drawn out comp.
I had a really good time. I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the competition.
We had 10 minutes to sit there and then it was like warm up for the next event, go out, bang, straight through. And it just went like that.
Yeah, Josh ran a really great comp. They ran a really efficient comp. I mean, that's also the benefit of having like low competitor numbers. Like the beauty of the Middleweight Series, and that's I guess what it was designed around, which was giving a chance for those Middleweight Series to kind of like middleweight classes to shine on their own. Is that it is a faster competition. It is like in and out, done. There's 20 people or so. So it makes it easier.
You good? Right into the microphone.
I might have another one. No, I'm good. What? No, I'm good.
Yeah, funny that with a comp, you have less people, more time. It can be like more time for those people to warm up properly, less people to focus on from a spectator point of view and a quicker comp. Yeah, it's more exciting.
It makes it more exciting from a competitor. From
anyone watching the live stream actually had their. What day did we do it? Saturday. Yeah, they actually had a Saturday to do something.
Yeah.
I've watched comps on live streams and I'm working between it and I'm like, I'll come back in an hour because event 2 will be on. Yeah. And then at 6 p.m. I'm still watching it.
Yeah.
With big breaks in between to like set up events. So
I get it. It's not feasible long term for promoters.
Yeah.
Like Middleweight Series here, we lost money. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you're putting on money, and I love the Middleweight Series idea and concept because obviously I'm a middleweight competitor.
Yep.
And like we said, as from a competitor standpoint, way better, more fun, small groups, quicker days, more interesting comp for spectators because it's not super, super long.
Yep.
But when you have 20 people paying registration for a competition, you're closing a gym for a day, you're getting like, well, we got fencing done, we do everything else for it. It's not really a feasible thing for like promoters or gym owners to be able to put on a regular basis. I think you do it, it's a labor of love versus, I mean, we don't make heaps of money from any comps really, but like at least you're not in the negative. Like that's usually.
The only way I could think about doing it was you split a comp up into 2-day comps and have 2 half days.
Yeah.
But then if you're in a car park or you're at somewhere that you're renting or a space.
Yeah, totally.
And then you halve the potential spectators because most spectators are friends and family.
Yeah, exactly. Coming for certain things. And then like you also think about if you're working in a gym, you're closing a gym for 2 days to members as well. So it's a hard balance to make in terms of what's feasible from like a promoter, or like what makes it possible for promoters to keep doing this and keep giving, or like trying to create opportunities for people in the sport to compete, you know, having both sides of the coin here.
Yeah.
But then also what do competitors want, or what's great from a spectator or competitor point of view.
Yeah, I get it. When the American Nationals had 400 or 500 people.
Yeah, huge.
And they had 13 lanes and 13 like doubles of equipment for warm-ups, and everyone's like, that's so much stuff. And it's like, yeah, but they're getting like, what, $100 per competitor for the comp, and then you just add that up times the amount of people doing it.
Maybe sponsorship money and stuff for a big comp.
Federation rego.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's where they've got their money to actually do cool stuff. So I get both sides.
Yeah, I kind of, if you want cool stuff and cool comps, you kind of need like
a lot of people.
People complain about the registration thing, and it's like, well, there's a reason for it, right? Like, do you think that like, oh, you know, it's $100 to just do the competition? Like, $100 doesn't go to fucking shit. Like, $100 doesn't actually get you very far for like what you actually want to be doing for your competition, and like making warm-up equipment or getting warm-up equipment in and having like the equipment. Depends on like what level the competition is, but I think that like if you want cool competitions like that, they could potentially fund those like passion projects. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But you need a business behind it, or you need like big competitions to be able to like pull money in for the actual federation to be able to do those things.
Feed it into something else.
Potentially,
Yeah. Everything else, like you want to do one GPC comp, you have to pay to join up. You want to do an IFBB comp, you have to pay to join up.
Yeah, definitely.
I was salty at it when it was only the Arnolds. Yeah. And you had to,
like
you had to pay a membership for that. Like, and then it's like, that's literally the only comp we've got. Yeah. Everything else.
Yeah, why are we paying reg fee if there's like one comp a year so it's basically just $250 to do the Arnolds? Yep. Yeah. That makes sense.
Which is why I'd always take like 3 extra shirts.
Yeah.
Well, before Aaron caught on. Aaron caught on to it years later.
Leaves the guy at the buffet with like the Glad bags in his pockets, just like filling them up.
Yeah. I'd be like, I got a shirt to actually wear for the comp, and then I've got a shirt I can cut into a singlet.
And I can crop this shirt.
It's like, take your 3-day pass. I'm like, okay, that one can go to a friend. So they can just stroll on in.
Yeah.
I was bad for that.
Well, yeah.
Not terrible, but like
sounds like it.
Within reason.
I'm just getting my value, please.
Yeah,
Thank you very
within
much.
reason.
Yeah.
No, so I used to turn up the day before the Friday. So I'd weigh in the Friday. Friday would have all the 64s, and that'd be the first day of the expo. Yeah. I'd weigh in that morning, and the scales and everything and all that setup was usually packed away. Yeah. While all the booths and stuff were setting up on Thursday. Yeah. So it was like 2 different years. One year, Ange was in there setting up for the Strongman. Yeah. You know, that does all the commentating. Yeah. Simone guy. Yeah. So I said to him, I'm like, can I just come in and check up my weight on the scales? He's like, yeah, we can do that. Put like a high-vis vest on, go in while all the booths are setting up, check the scales, look at the equipment. I'm like, okay, that's where that is. Cool. I'll go home and keep losing weight.
Can I touch that?
Yeah, I'm like, don't like that. Can we get these taped tomorrow?
Just plant the seed.
Yeah.
Do you know if like ASA or AS, do you have to be a member to do a novice comp?
I think that's what's changing in the next year.
Okay. You don't have to be, or you do have to be?
I think it's a once off for the comp.
Sure.
I think it might be a $20.
Oh, like a small, a small, like it's like $80 to the comp and like a $20, Because I was just curious when we were talking about that. I was just thinking, I don't know whether ASA do. I don't know. Because I mean, with gym comps, you know what I mean? Like when a gym runs a comp, it's like, cool, come along, do a comp, it's $80, have fun. And it's very easy. But I mean, I could see that would be a barrier for people who are just wanting to try it out.
Yeah, new people in the sport that go, I want to jump in a comp, and they go, well, it's $80 here, it's $120 there. Yeah.
But then you're a member for a year, and it's like, I don't know whether I want to be a member for a year. Yeah. Like, I just want to try it.
Not many people last a year in the sport.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, not at all. I was just curious, because I obviously haven't been a novice for a while, so I wasn't too sure. I don't know. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Have you paid for a comp lately?
Yeah, I always pay for a comp.
Okay, good.
What do you think this is?
I thought you got special treatment.
No, I pay registration.
Yeah.
I pay my comp fees. No,
They're
no
all
special
red
treatment
carpet for you, don't they?
no, there's no red carpet either.
Pays for his trophies.
Yeah, I pay for my own trophies.
Oh God. But yeah, back to Chronicle.
Yeah.
Round 3.
Yes.
The gym is huge.
Gyms are rad. I really
Way
like
bigger
the
than
gym.
I thought.
Yeah.
It looks like a giant. It looks like it used to be a car dealership place that just stretches all the way down the back, and it's just got big showrooms.
Yeah. It is really cool. If you're in Wagga, go check out that gym. I'm super impressed.
The front section's got like what looks like where you sit down and sell cars with people.
Yeah.
And then that powerlifting section that's airconned looks like a garage or something.
Yeah. And the back would be like the workshop. You know.
So yeah, huge big powerlifting thing at the front that nobody saw on videos. The stones were held in that big strong.
The middle section was really cool. A warm up area, kind of like outside-ish, is
half
I
open.
really like. Yeah,
Went
like
back the next
half open.
day and I was in the sun.
Yeah, that's a really nice area to train. And then the back area is the CrossFit area, which is huge.
So you know the back wall?
Yeah.
That drops down in that back area?
Yes. False wall.
False wall.
Yeah, I was talking to Josh.
Pull that out and it's like double.
Yeah, Josh and I were talking about like our fit out and stuff like that because he's got some really cool plans with that kind of like front area. Sorry, Josh, if I'm, giving the people a little bit of a, but he's got some really cool plans for that gym as well. So I think like next time we go back there, it'll be even cooler.
Yep.
Which is rad.
Yeah. How do you think you went in the comp?
How do I think I went?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically perfect. Besides the deadlift
Deadlifts?
strap. I think I got cocky and like that's probably not unheard of. But I was using the liquid chalk, right?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that'll be fine. And I did some warm-ups and stuff out the back and it felt all sweet. And I did like 210 and I was like, cool, no worries. And I just went out there. I didn't really chalk my hands or anything like that. Yeah. And I like did the first one. I was like, oh, that's a bit slippery actually. And like with the liquid chalk, you kind of like start to see it, like you start to sweat and stuff. I don't know, bro.
You just see it in the pores.
But like, obviously I've done that plenty of times. So I was absolutely chilled with it. I walked out and put my straps up the back and I was like, I don't think I'll need them, but like just in case. And I'm so glad I did because I could have bombed that event real bad because that second bar got there and just the bar slipped out of my hands.
So the first two are like the thicker axles.
Yeah.
And then it goes onto the barbells. So if there was like a strongman walk of shame, not being able to hold onto the axle and having to run up the front to collect your straps.
242, like it's so light.
If there was a walk of shame for like a deadlift event, that's it. Walk back to get the straps.
The positive thing is, even if that was like a fierce competition, right, and I fucked that up, I still back myself to rip through those next 3 bars and like
still quick on reps.
And with like 30 seconds, I could do fucking 8 reps at that weight. You know, maybe not 8. 290 is heavy, but definitely like I could probably still beat most people with a fuck up in the strap run on that last bar. So I wasn't too worried. And then the next 3 bars are fine. But I was really happy. Like my sandbags are really good. The winning the Zercher was cool just because I didn't back myself. Like that's anyone's event.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't really feel like I was stoked to win that event, but I just kind of feel like that's an event where like there's just so many variables. It's just kind of up in the air.
Yeah, like I went earlier on and then got done by
and it's like
and then
like 0.2 is like a timing error. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's a timing error, but like it's
everyone's just that close on
it's
a speed
very
event.
close, right? It's a speed event. It's 10 meters. It's very hard. So I was happy to win that.
I don't think I could just plain run that far that quick.
Yeah.
Like if you just set me up to run, I probably wouldn't try that hard.
Yeah. I was really happy with my overheads. They felt really good. Dumbbell snatches felt good. Axle clean and press, that like power clean transition thing.
Saves your elbow.
Yeah, saves my elbow and my forearm a little bit, which is kind of nice. And then the axle felt really good. So like the continental clean on that second was sweet. Started with the dumbbell because I knew the dumbbell would be easier because I only needed 5. Stones felt really good considering I hadn't trained them for so long. Their stones felt nicer than ours too.
From what I can tell, our setup is one of the worst. Yeah. In terms of how sticky the stones are and how sticky the floor is.
Yeah. I think it's
everyone
purely,
that comes here is just like it won't come off the ground.
I think it's purely no one else would get so much use in the stone section though.
I think a lot of other people clean them, whereas most of the
maybe.
people that we have here are way too lazy.
I don't reckon a lot of people clean them.
Plus, the reason ours is so bad is because we had a handful of people, not naming names, we've had a good chunk of people that are new to the sport.
Yeah.
That couldn't pick up stones. Yeah. That went, more is better.
Yeah, more tacky is better.
And the amount of times like me, Vernon, you kept saying, stop putting on so much tacky. And they're like, oh, who was it? I can't remember which one.
Not naming names.
Not naming
names.
Who
was it actually?
No. They were like, yeah, Vernon said about like putting on less tacky because like if you can't pick it up, more tacky's not going to help you.
No, well, you just slide.
And they were like, I don't give a fuck what he says. If I put more on and it comes off the ground, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, this is why we have tacky everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, like all through the mats, like that whole area is.
I do think though, we also have more people in our gyms. Like our sandbags break and like no one else has probably replaced as many sandbags that we have.
Yeah.
I feel like our equipment gets abused the most because we probably have the most competitors at those weights.
Yeah, the people that we do have doing stones are always doing that same type
like those
of
same
group of weights.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yes.
People were very liberal with tacky.
Yeah.
You can see handprints. Yes. When you can see a handprint, it's liberal.
It's fucked.
And it's cold and winter down here. Like it's not melting and slipping. It's doing the opposite. It's turning to plastic.
Oh yeah. Joys of owning a strongman gym. So, anyway, the stones were great. They felt good. I hadn't really trained them much at all, but like 190 felt really comfortable. 210. I don't think I would have got it anyway, to be fair, because I haven't trained it. But it was out in the sun as soon as I went to pick it up. Like I just sliding. Do you know what I mean? Like your tacky's just like a little bit warm on there. They don't have like real good purchase. So it's a really nice excuse to have.
Great excuse.
Because if it was cool, it was a cold stone and I still didn't get it, then it would just be shit.
You're also the second person to attempt it, so it actually did have a little bit more tacky.
Yeah, well, I pre-tacked it too.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was like, it's warm, like it slides. But
yeah.
Anyway, that was Middleweight Series 3. We both did good. Actually, just a quick note, because it's not all about us. It is, but you know.
This is.
Yeah, this is our how. Yeah, this is us. Really impressed with the standard of some of the guys.
Yeah.
Really, really stoked to see some good competitors coming through. Guys that like I didn't even have on like a radar.
Yeah.
So imagine know them. They're not like big on Instagram and stuff like that. And obviously that COVID bubble has seen like a few competitors come out of the woodwork now that comps are back on and you're like, oh shit, like you're going to be good.
Yeah. I like going to a comp and not seeing, like knowing like seeing names that I haven't seen before. And then you do the comp and you're like, oh, they're actually doing really well. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Give them a little bit more time.
Yeah, 100%. I think
and hungry.
Yeah, and hungry.
I like seeing people that are really hungry for it and really want to send it.
I mean, in the 105s, for example, the static strength, and I think this is the same in the 90s, the static strength is the thing that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like the static strength takes time to build and cultivate because it's just more time. Right? Yeah. You can't really like get too much further than what you're able to get out of each block. But moving like the sandbags, like when I couldn't pick up a 140 sandbag before like OSG, like in 2018. Like I was like, fuck, that's huge. Now there's guys shouldering the 120 bags pretty quickly and then moving a 140. You had like 3 or 4 guys hit a 190 stone in the 105s, which is fucking awesome. Like that's a big stone, right? Yep. So there's some real good promise. Like those guys moved really well and they were strong with those events. I think it's like the deadlift and the overheads was where like we saw like those static things is where we saw probably like the biggest gap.
Overheads kill us in this country. It still does. We're getting better, but compared to other countries, that's probably the biggest chunk down. Yeah,
it's interesting because like it is country based though too, isn't it? Like, I think Deck was saying, you know,
our stones are right
Australians up there. Like with stones are like a yoke. They're like, oh, you know, like it's a 400 kilo yoke. And like over there, they're like 400 kilos is fucking heavy. Like that's a really heavy yoke. Where we're like, oh, yeah, cool. Like 400, 450, whatever. Or like our heavy weights and stuff like that as well. Where they're all like, whoa, that's super fucking heavy for a yoke. But then they're logs. It's like...
Yeah, most of the 105s have got like, what, 160?
Yeah, 160, 170. Yeah, 100%. Like it's just wild.
Yeah, a lot of the 90s are like that. Like they're all push pressing, like 130, 140.
Yeah.
And then the better ones are doing more.
Yeah.
But that's pretty standard.
Yes.
Whereas here it's like
across the board.
110, 120.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, like
would
we
be
saw
more
the
the
guys.
standard.
They were hitting 120s and stuff. Like I think like 120, 130 was probably like the middle group standard.
For 105s.
Or like, yeah, like competitive group.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is like a weight class down compared to, say, America or other countries. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but super impressed. Same with the 90s. Some great females and stuff. It was a really good comp. Josh ran a great comp. Loved it.
Well done.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed competing, which is fun. Like it's good to enjoy competing and go to a comp like that and have some fun. Wrap up for 2022.
We'll have to be quick because there's a lot.
Yeah. Give us a flyover, like your highlights. Give us a bit of a rundown of like how you felt, like what you thought about the year in total. Best moments or best moment, and things that you would like to see for next year improved.
That's a lot. This
be quick, but do all this. Whatever you want. Go nuts.
Overall, this year was like chaos, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like everything was new, everything was thrown out, everything was confusing. It was like, what do I have to do to qualify for this? This doesn't qualify for that.
Yeah, I think it's that like finally getting a full year of competitions and like figuring everything out.
I think we all thought that there were more athletes keen at a higher level.
True.
We thought people would come back.
Yeah.
And threw out heaps of stuff.
Yeah.
At a relatively higher level.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that probably could have done it and taken that leap into the next level went, it's a qualifier for something else. I'm probably not going to qualify.
Yeah.
Or some people thought that they needed to be invited to do said qualifiers or said series or anything like that.
Sure.
Or they're like, I'm not going to go and do the other series, so what's the point in doing one?
Sure.
So I think there was a lot. There's heaps. Look at Trials of Hercules. There's heaps of intermediate or whatever level you want to call it, novice, heaps, stacks.
Yeah.
And a lot of them could go up and do the Middleweight Series and all these other ones. But yeah, I think it all got thrown out there and a lot of people just went, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because everyone's still relatively new.
Yeah.
Strong enough, but just new and not confident enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, chaos in that way.
Yeah.
But in a good way because the last 2 years had been nothing.
Yes.
Better
to have more opportunities than no opportunities, right?
Well, I think I prepped for 3 or 4 comps that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Got stronger for it.
Yeah,
got
exactly. It's never
it.
for like nothing, but yeah.
But yeah, it is a lot of work without the payoff.
Yeah.
It is 2 to 3 years of just blue balls, just rolling through. Like, never quite get to the end.
It's called strongman edging. We're going to get you close and close and close and never give you a comp.
Yeah. It's kind of how it felt. It's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
Just ruined every time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, finally.
But when you finally got a comp, was it really, really good?
I can't even remember what the first one was. Would have just rather do that first comp, honestly.
Yeah, one and done, please.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the comp. So I went in to watch Queensland's.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I travelled for. I went to WA for powerlifting.
Yeah.
For GPC. But yeah, Queensland was the only one. The year before we did New South Wales.
Yep.
Went and watched that. Yeah, all of the comps seemed very organised and like somewhat working together for it.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of big weekends, which was cool because
Yep.
it was all like lumped together along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to think how to recap it, to be honest. There's just too much.
Yeah, I can help.
You've got notes?
Well, no, I don't have notes. I'm not that organised ever. I'm just going to read the standard submit post because Mason was down here the other day and he said, we always listen to your podcast and think like, fuck, what's it going to be this time? Now, total comps, they were at as 20. Total comps under the AS umbrella was 22. Total states visited 5. Total countries visited 2. Total prize money awarded, $34,000. Total trophies produced in-house, 113. Total comps live streams, 13. Total views, 48,000. That's in a year. Right, so like 22 comps. Fuck, that's huge. Like, I hate running. I don't hate it, but it's a labor of love. Like, like 5 comps a year in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like 22 traveling around, like that is an enormous for like one federation. That's in Australia, not including other promoters, in-house or in-gym competitions, ASI, like that's a massive amount of competitions for people to be able to choose from a year. So I think chaos is a great way to explain it in terms of there was nothing and then we threw out everything, right? Like AS was like, cool, let's fucking go. Let's hit this. And like, did Strongman in general, I'm not talking about AS, I'm talking about ASA, I'm talking about Strongman, I'm talking about promoters and other gyms. Did everyone get it right along the way? Like, probably fucking not, right?
No one ever does.
No, how can you?
Yeah.
Like, how can you get it right all the time? Especially if you, like, there's, 50 competitions this year in the country. But a fucking huge effort. Like, a huge effort and a massive year for Strongman. Just having that amount of opportunities. And like anything, opportunities for tweaking, improvement, narrowing things down to finding a structure that suits our country the best going forward, I think. We started the year with Compound, which was like when we were talking about this before the podcast, like, that feels like forever ago.
Yeah, that feels like last January.
Yeah, 100%. So that was awesome. I mean, finishing it with something similarly, like in terms of like Hercules was probably close to like the Compound sort of structure. And now we've got like Clash and stuff like that in January, which will be really cool to sort of like round out that 12-month January to January thing. Middleweight Series was interesting. You had all the qualifiers and stuff like that. ASM was really well run. And a great competition as well.
ASM format will always work.
Yeah.
Because you've just got
very traditional.
10 and 10, whatever the numbers are. 4 events per day. What's going on?
I thought it was cracking. Yeah. A great first year. I think I'm really excited to see the changes and the lessons learned from this year and see how things roll next year. And I think like a big part of it is just like a bit of patience, like over the next 2 or 3 years after, a couple years off and like figuring out where we're at and having athletes actually have a couple years to like develop. I think we'll see like in another 2 years, a structure that's well suited to the country and a whole bunch of those people have some continuity with like training and competing to sort of building back up to like that competitive level where more people are starting to reach into that top end.
Yeah. It's just, giving them comps and finding out ways to make them actually turn up.
And I think the idea behind next year's with having like more regular free-for-all competitions with the novice categories means a whole lot more opportunity for the majority. I think we had a whole lot of opportunity this year. Do you know what I mean? I think you're exactly right in terms of we thought that there was more people at a higher level ready to come back into the sport and like get behind it or throw themselves behind it, right? So we, like the higher level, had a lot of opportunity. And we kind of failed. Do you know what I mean? Like we kind of like had heavier comps and there wasn't enough people to fill them or there wasn't people strong enough to be able to achieve them. Which means like competitor numbers weren't as thick or as deep as what they could have been. Where I think next year we'll see more targeted competitions for our level. And we'll see a whole lot more at the level where the majority of the cohort is, which is great because that cohort is going to be the cohort that comes up into the other.
It'll be essentially the next generation type thing.
100%.
There was other things like hoping that people would travel more to do more comps to qualify for more things. For sure. And then flights to Queensland and back became ridiculously, like all the flights became expensive. And then everyone's just like, I'm not traveling. So
it's expensive to travel.
So a few things set up to where people were going to travel here and there when flights were cheap and then flights are expensive.
But I mean, huge year. We had lots of people go overseas to compete. Heavyweights.
Heaps of heavyweights, which is rare.
Which is huge.
There's usually like 1 or 2 of them.
So a lot more like...
And you don't hear about it. 1 or 2 go over and do an SCL comp and no one posts about it. No one gets behind them and then they don't have social media. So, and everyone's like, oh, this person went and did SCL and everyone's like, who's that? And they're like, you don't know that person. You got no respect for the sport and the sport's history. And it's like, if you don't post it, we don't see it.
We're not supposed to know. I think that's a really cool thing. Like people starting to get behind to grow the sport profiles grow the sport, not just athletes, but profiles grow the sport, right?
Yeah.
So a lot more athletes getting behind like the social media thing, marketing themselves or creating a profile within the sport, which only benefits the sport, going overseas and representing the country, which benefits the country's like standing in the sport and stuff like that. I think an awesome kind of like real proper first year back. Yeah. Like this was like the first big 12 months of sick, let's rip. And there's a lot of comps. There's a lot of new people coming in the door. There was 80 or something at Hercules. Like heaps of potential. And I think next couple of years will be like just a snowball effect in terms of like how we'll see the next couple of years go. Yeah,
it's obviously easier to read what needs to be done when you actually have some amount of like knowledge on where everybody's at.
Yeah, 100%. It's like a gauging year, right? Yeah. Like, oh, where we at? Cool. All right. It's like when you program someone for the first time. It's like, all right, you give me your numbers and you're like, when did you hit these maxes?
Yeah. Are you sure you can lift that?
Yeah. Like the next 3 weeks of fails, you know? You're like, what are your current maxes? Like, where are we currently at? And let's program around that. It's like, that's what we need with strongman, like comps. It's like, all right, strongman Australia, we know we thought we were here, but you haven't had those maxes for the last 3 years. So let's maybe take a like standing and see where you're at now. And then like, let's program around that for the next couple of years and build you back up.
No, I can do this comp. Why didn't you turn
up? Cool. ASI, speaking of ASI and comps coming up, I'm going to get the Lee Shaw Strength Zen because Strength Zen does know the peoples.
I'm not picking winners.
I just want...
Can't do that.
Yeah, you can. You're doing it. You're going to put me on the spot in 5 minutes.
I'll either have to pick my athletes or I'll be down a few athletes when this comes out.
All right, confirmed athletes in the 64 kilo class, the biggest class so far. Heidi...
Biggest women's class or biggest overall maybe?
Best overall. Biggest overall class.
That's a first.
It's fucking awesome.
64s were stacked.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
I think they look pretty stacked.
They were stacked before 73s came in and 73s divided it.
If I fuck your last name up, I'm so sorry. Heidi Hummer, Katie Carlisle, Camilla, the champ, Josie, Jessica.
What's her last name?
Fucking no.
Fogagnolo.
I
might have completely got that wrong and just went in full confident.
Josie Jordan, Jessica Cameron, Ray Vogler, Cara Lee McKinnon, Megan Lata, Charlie Lendon, Corina Burgess, and Danny Frigerio. Top three.
Oh, top three. That's hard.
It's tight. That's a good class.
Camilla's doing pro show Friday night and then doing that Saturday.
Okay.
So without that, Camilla would be the favorite.
I think still.
But to do the Friday night pro show, all the events at those weights and then go in Saturday and do those, well, you're not going to be 100%. So it'll be interesting how taxing that, plus making weight Friday morning.
Yeah, true. That's hard.
Refeeding, then competing Friday night, then coming back. Yep. So that will be a weird sort of handicap as to how bad that is or how easy that is. Might not matter at all. Top three. That's super hard. Like Ray Strong, Meg's coming over from New Zealand.
Just
she's
give no specific order.
Still can't. There's like five in there that I'm like... easily, especially because the events are weird.
Yeah,
that's what also ruins me. Tough. I'm like, who's going to carry a frame the longest?
Would you just like to give me your best bet for number one? Maybe that's easier.
No, it's worse. Why don't you tell me who you think?
I think Camilla still.
Yeah. Because I actually can't tell because I know the weights because I've got Danny and Meg in there.
Yeah.
And for most of those women, like the weights are pretty comfortable.
They're all really good. Like, looking at that
some
list,
of those events are going to be so quick.
Yeah. I think it's a really tight.
So I really can't
list.
pick, and they're all quick because they're all under 64 kilo humans.
Lee's being a politician. 73 class. Emnane Smith, Laura McMillan, Fran Von Canning, and Annalise Bevan.
You would have to pick the one that came second at OSG, right?
Yeah. But also still some tight competition there.
Yeah. They're all great for 73s.
Yeah. All the classes are actually going to be
They're
really
the best
fun
of
to watch.
the 73s. Like, would have been good. Like I've got clients that I'd want there, but they didn't get the qualifier and stuff. But
yeah, it was only 4 confirmed so far.
Yep.
82s, Megan Clark, Nita O'Hara, M. Atten, Sarah Halifax, Red Ward.
Hard one. I think Megan's doing Friday night as well.
Yeah.
Very hard one. Statically strong, not the quickest.
Yep.
Lighter, quicker comp. Does make it harder.
Yep.
Yeah, I find it super hard. Just with those events.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how good anyone is at a block press.
Yeah,
they could be terrible. And some people are great at it.
The block press is a real spanner in the works.
I've seen people get like a max block press that was like 5 kilos off their log.
Yeah.
PB. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah. A name?
For 82s?
Yeah.
I think there's only 4.
5. Megan Clark, Nita, M, Sarah.
I don't think Nita's
Red.
confirmed.
Okay. Oh, no, she's not confirmed.
Terrible job reading the list. Who would you pick?
Don't stop putting it back on me first and then having you say.
I thought we were going back and forth.
Do you think it's still going to matter, Megan Clark?
I think like she's going to take out the deadlift.
Yeah.
Because she's got a massive deadlift. I think she's still going to be strong to get through it. I just don't know how quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it'll matter. 82s is at a weight where you don't have to be as quick as the lighter ones. It's similar to like 105s and heavyweights.
Yeah.
They don't have to be as quick as the 80s and 90s. So they can get away with a little bit more.
It's like right in the middle, right?
Yeah, it's like if you're still just strong enough to lift the last one and no one else is strong enough, you can be slow.
Open qualified athletes, Nick White, Ali Smith, Katie Blunden, Hinoa Hossman, Ari Mann.
That'd be very close. I'm not picking that.
That's too tight.
I got 2 people in there.
All right. Yeah, cool. Under 80s, he'll be fine picking the men. He's too nice for the girls. Carl Sherry, Andy Rajivan, Alex Hoskin, Harry Gearson, Ben McManus, Kane Sterling, Vincent Chad, James Polk, Michael Smits.
I don't, and I'm sorry if I've met somebody that's in the 80s before, but I don't know any of those names besides really like Carl.
I don't know their performance well enough.
And Smitty.
Yeah, I don't know their performance well enough.
Names sound familiar, but I'm like, I can't remember where I've seen those people.
Michael Smith is always a tough one to beat in that, and so is Carl Sherry if he's in one piece. His training has been looking better.
Making weight.
Yes.
I think he's still above 90 kilos.
Yeah, okay. So he's got a long way to cut.
He always manages.
Yeah.
But he always looks like death.
Well, Smitty is always like
close.
Right near it.
Yeah.
Always strong at that weight, for sure. And always a great competitor. 90 kilo class. Lee Shaw. Marshall Cruther, Aiden Westrip, Riley Talbot, Chris Rediford, Alan Romero, Dylan Phipps, Mark Lawlaw, Matt Bilsma. Sorry, Matt. Cam Taylor.
Had 4 attempts and it didn't even change.
Bilsma. Cam Taylor.
Yeah. Am I meant to pick?
I can't say not you. I'm going to say Lee Shaw, Mark Lawlaw for a hit out, but with those events, Cam Taylor, who somehow managed to sneak into the event list, who knows how, is a good...
Don't know how. What comp did he win?
I don't know.
How did he qualify? Also a working employee of AS.
Yeah, I don't know how we managed to sneak in that.
I've already given him.
I saw it. I'm just reading his name there. And I was like, hang on a second, what is she?
Yeah,
anyways,
he's like, I don't know how either. I was happy to do the Friday.
Here you go, Aaron Jerry Laundry, live on TV, live on YouTube's.
Look,
I reckon
people travelled interstate to qualify.
With those events, Cam Taylor is a good chance of winning that because they're not heavy and he is an excellent competitor. I think still some of those like the log, the deadlift and stuff like that. Look, super tough, but Mark Lawlaw and yourself, very hard to beat in the 90s in that list. One to look out for. I know this is biased, but Dylan Phipps is very good with his moving events.
Yeah.
His log will be his only detriment in that competition. Great deadlift, good with stones, good moving and stuff like that. I think he will sneak some points away. Marshall Cruther, Also, great historically.
Yeah, quite consistent.
And quite consistent. So, 105s, Nat Westling, Charles Van, Thomas Lindley Mullins, Kyle Norton, Declan Marvis, Tyler Simpson, Bryce Purton, Harley Hughes.
That's hard.
It's a good list.
Everyone's at a similar level. Everyone has different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like I can look at each person and just go, they're going to come down the bottom of this event, but they're probably going to win this event.
Do you think Charles got a bad event in there?
Can't remember what his grip and frame is like.
Competitively,
quick.
I'd almost say, like, yeah, he smoked a yoke here.
Yeah.
Competitively, I'd almost say he's the most consistent across all those events.
Yeah.
I think Charles probably for the win.
Yeah. It's a shame.
He's gotten exponentially better over the last 12 months from like when he competed at Compound. When we did it.
Yeah, picked up his weaker events.
Yeah.
I think deadlift, like not the strongest deadlifter in the bunch, but we'll still be towards
still
that
enough.
top end.
Still like in that 300, like
probably still the top 5 range.
Yeah, definitely.
Which in a deep list is still a good score for a bad event.
Yeah. Kyle Norton moved really well over the weekend. He moved very well.
Kyle's very consistent
and great
as well.
with stones, like very comfortable 190. So he'll make short work of that. Stone run also done. Being tall. Yeah.
It's a shame that Jason Phillips isn't in there.
Yeah.
So he's up at Coco's.
Yeah.
He just deadlifted
350 for a double. Yeah, huge.
350, and he's like 50 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He looks jacked. He's jacked 50-year-old. Fuck.
Yeah. So it's a shame that he doesn't work for AS, and he got to sneak in as well. Because he's actually strong. Like, he could probably take it out. Like, he's very strong.
Yeah, he's very strong.
Similar thing to what you said, log.
Yeah.
Log in the overheads would be his hardest
Would be,
Because he's quite heavy for 105s.
Yeah, I think, who knows for the top 3? I think Charles is probably the most consistent across those events. And then you've got a whole bunch of guys that are all at a very similar level.
That'll be the comp where, we talk about some days just go your way and some days don't. Some days luck just kind of falls on your side and doesn't.
Yeah.
It'll be whoever just has that great day that flows on and they get into this good state.
Yeah.
And someone else could feel like they made 2 mistakes and come 7th.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very, very tight on
I totally agree. How you piece those, and like I've been big with this with my guys, is like it's not just going to be about like being able to do the event. It's how you piece the event together.
Yep.
As like how do you clean and like flow into the press? How do you move to the next stone? Yep. Are you fucking around with that stone in the lab position? Like you can't. You're gonna have to be efficient with how you do the events.
Yep.
Not just transitioning to the next stone, but like if you spend like 5 seconds in the lap for a stone, you're not going to get that in a stone run. Like you need to be able to pull, pop, load. Like if you're doing those overhead presses, like those first like 3 reps before you hit the log, make as much time up as possible. Clean and drive into the press.
Yeah, but you can't mistime it and start grinding.
You can't mistime it and grind it, or you can't like something like the block. You can't rush it to the point where like you miss a rep.
Yep.
Because then, like that's what we're talking about. The right day. Yeah. The right day. Right.
Even the stones, 1.4.
Yeah.
If you hit it low
and it just like swings back and rotates,
you have to push it up. It'll gash you out a little bit too much.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching it. The heavyweights: Jihad, Hank, Dylan Lockhart, Max McCall, Reese Keane, Tiano Fapoy, Fardy, and Jacob Finity. Oh, Reese Keane's not confirmed.
Yeah, that's hard.
With those events, Jihad.
It's hard for me to not back Dylan.
Dylan Lockhart's a fucking monster.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not back him just with his grip strength, his size.
Yeah.
He's the person that like he'll stand next to Fardy and all of a sudden the Northside Giant is going to be like the Northside normal person.
Yeah. From the names that I know.
He's big.
That's actually really tight.
He's American. He moved over quite a few years ago.
He's huge.
Did like the pro show when he first moved over. But just a monster.
He's massive. Jihad, like if I go through this list, because like actually that's a really hard one to pick. Jihad super quick and quite strong.
Will be up there.
Hank looking fantastic, super strong. But like Jihad lighter guy, but moves very quickly.
Yeah,
like he's a freight train when he's moving. Like Hank also quick, but like really good.
Yep.
Across the board, he's gotten a lot better. Dylan Lockhart, just an absolute monster. Max McCall in those events, still able to complete all those events and like move relatively quickly. Tiano Fapoi from New Zealand, not super familiar.
He must have come second at New Zealand's strongest.
Which is a huge achievement in itself.
Yep.
If it's who I'm thinking of, he's really, really good. Fardy, great statically, probably not the quickest in that bunch of people though. So I think he'll have a hard time in that group.
Not the quickest, hasn't had a great track history with log.
Yeah.
And like punching them out consistently and effortlessly.
Yeah.
Like it's always like, I'll strict press it.
Yeah.
And it always takes more work.
Yeah.
So like not efficient.
Jacob Finity from the US, confirmed. Who I'm not aware of.
Oh, I know that name.
So look, huge list. I think a really cool comp to go watch.
Yeah. Because
as you can tell, like we've just gone through the list and it's hard to fucking pick winners.
Yep.
Which is really, really cool. Great. Yeah or nay?
Oh yeah, I had a list of yay or nay.
He wouldn't tell me what they are. He wants to like shock me and surprise me and get my on the spot opinions.
Not a shock. It's just in terms of like comps in general.
Yeah, cool.
So whether you're for it, whether you're against it.
Okay.
So because you know how like SEL
one elbow sleeve,
one elbow sleeve and one belt. So anyone that doesn't know, if you go to an SEL comp and you want to wear your matching elbow sleeves, no.
Yeah.
If you have a bad elbow, you get one.
Yeah.
And you have one belt, no soft belt, no hard belt.
Yep.
No double.
Yep.
So they do the opposite and go away from equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which I like, and their weights are more manageable.
Yeah.
So
I like just in terms of like, if they're the comp rules, then as a competitor, it's like the belt clean, no belt clean. Well, you should be able to do both.
Yep.
Because it's strongman. If a promoter allows belt cleans and you want to take advantage of that, great. But if a promoter doesn't, it's their fucking choice. You should be able to complete it without as well. It's part of being a competitor. Like if you should be able to do an axle or like a log without your soft belt and just one belt.
Yep.
If that's the rules, because that's just part of the rules. No point whinging about it.
There's a place for both. In the sport.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be a little bitch, you go and do the other
if you want the same rules all the time.
Do a belt clean.
Yeah.
Straps on deadlifts.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, strong.
Don't want to get back to mixed grip only?
No. Definitely not.
Figure eights.
I don't.
And don't say it's about safety, because people come out on like all the Tren and Anadrol in the world and have a heart attack and can't breathe and everything else that goes with it. I think
fine. I don't like them, but like I think fine for competition. I'm not sure about the finger tipping thing that it allows.
Yeah.
So like that's probably the only thing is like you have to actually have the bar in your hand.
In saying that, people do that with figure sixes.
I don't know how.
Yeah,
I know. It's wild.
Well, it's a skill.
Yeah.
They get the right straps and they do it intentionally and just like drop their hands.
Yeah.
Not over here.
I don't see how it
Mostly in the
beating
UK.
way. It fucking feels like shit. But look, absolutely. Figure eights, figure sixes, don't give a fuck. It's strong, man. You can wear straps.
You just don't like the finger tipping.
Yeah, I just don't.
So like thumb over or something like that.
Yeah, like thumb over maybe. I don't know. Actually, who gives a fuck? Finger tip it. Just lock it out. Strong man.
Just lock it out, but this.
Yeah.
Events like the brick carry and the coal shoveling coming back into comp. You know the back brick carry, the one that OD, who should have won World's Strongest Man, made him run a lap of like an athletics track with bricks on their back, and John Powell was just away.
And they had like a wheelbarrow.
It's this big black. He ended up dying the year after.
Did he?
Yeah, I think it was like a heart attack or something. But that was the year that he should have won, and they gave him some stupid athletic. It was just a stack of bricks on your back. And coal shoveling.
Yeah,
out of a big pile of coal, they shoveled it into baskets, and then they had to carry the baskets back.
That particular one, no. Like I'm all for like weird events and like more endurance based events. I like the idea.
Weird and endurance. Those are up there.
Oh
they tick
fuck!
the
It's
box.
strong, man. Do whatever you want. Yeah, sure. Go for it. Shovel coal. Make a shovel coal.
Just go out to Castlemaine and we're just doing work.
As long as like I was gonna say, as long as we can run a strongman Saturday and everyone has to like carry the plates up to the stairs.
Yeah. Suits.
Yeah.
All for it.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Most comps.
I don't like it, but I don't personally I don't like wearing it. It just takes the fun out of training for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a strongman, you should be able to wear. Not all. Like I think it's fine to have comps where you say no suits and suits.
Yep.
I think it doesn't have to always be suits. I think you can have like a raw deadlift, or if it's like a medley or something like that, like no suits. But like if you're in strongman and you program in your competition a max deadlift, you should be prepared to have suits in there.
Yeah. Or if you have suits, you just make the weights heavier.
Yeah.
Don't give people stupidly light weights and say you can throw a suit on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sumo.
No.
No. What about Ukrainians?
Yeah. Ukrainian
barbell.
Yeah, Ukrainian barbell deadlift.
Is that okay now?
Yeah, that's fine.
In a suit.
Yeah.
Finger tipping figure eights now. Just piecing this together as I go along.
This was planned.
Yeah.
No sumo. It's the age-old thing of like we just do conventional deadlifts.
Yeah. Split jerks.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about having comps where you just have a strict press? Hard to judge.
Yes.
But I'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Strict press, like max strict press, or like lock it in. Yeah, for sure. I mean, strongman, you can do whatever you want.
What about
you can run the competition however you like. You can do whatever fucking event you like.
max barbell curl?
Yeah, sure.
They did that at Leviathan yesterday.
Yeah.
A curl comp.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Steph was just like, "What is this?" I'm like, "No, it's a thing.
Yeah,
there's a world record for it. And there's standards.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think it's just cool.
Of course, you look at your fucking biceps.
They actually can't. They can't lift that much, to be honest. They haven't done much for a while. 24-hour weigh-ins.
Yeah, because fuck 2 hours.
You do want them?
Nah, like 24 hours. Yeah, I'm all about 24-hour weigh-in.
It's either that or it's 2 hours.
But I wouldn't mind seeing a couple comps do a 2-hour weigh-in just to like mix things up.
Yeah.
Because I mean the 105 thing, or like the 90 kilo thing and the 80 kilo. Yeah, I think it would make things really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting to see where athletes would go if there was 2-hour weigh-ins.
Well, it would just kick me in the ass to
be
lighter and diet better. So I think we'd all adjust. No matter what, we would adjust.
Yeah.
But obviously records, performances, everything like that would be limited.
If it was like if a comp, this is another thing like with motors and like, you can run the comp however you like. Like there's rules, like there's no, if you're not a federation, you're just like Jim who wants to run a comp. You can run a 2-hour, like strongman is whatever you fucking want it to be.
You can run 6 events.
You can run 6 events. You can run 8 events. You can run 3 events if you want. You can shovel coal and put them in a wheelbarrow and run them. And you can do a suited deadlift and you can do a fucking strict press log max. Like go for your life.
Funny how you picked those two.
What's that?
Funny how you picked those 2 events.
Which 2?
Strict log and
that's what I said, because like we're talking about it, right? So like you can do whatever you like.
You could run 2 deadlift events.
You can run 4 deadlift events.
Just no sumos.
Just Tyson. Only Tyson will turn up to the comp. That's the problem. PEDs.
Yes.
Yeah, don't care.
Nah, I mean,
the alternative is some sort of testing thing that's too expensive and ultimately going to fail anyway.
Yeah, look. Yeah. There was something that happened in a comp, and it was like, whatever. There was like, they had like a joke, and it was like Victoria's strongest natural male or something like that. They had like a trophy and stuff like that, and I get it, right? Like, there's no place to compete if you're natural, and if someone wants to run like a federation, great, but like, there's no testing. If you do testing, it's expensive. And the naivety to think that like in any fucking sport, whether it's sprinting, track and field, athletics, powerlifting, strongman, bodybuilding, if it's not going to sneak into a natural or tested federation is ridiculous, because it's in every fucking sport. There's no natural Olympics.
Yeah.
Like there's no trophy for like, I know everyone does it, but like, you're the actual natural champion. So
there was a guy that did that years ago when I first started. He did 80s.
Yeah.
I think his name, like it was Ant-Man or something, like not who I competed against in round 3, but somebody else. He went and did, might have been Arnold's Ohio or like a big top comp. Yeah. And he came back and made a post about how like he came 3rd or something, but he knows that he is the strongest natural athlete because he knows the other 2 guys are taking it, and everybody just thrashed him. It was just like, did they tell you? He's like, oh no, like I know because of this and this. And it's like, did you do the comp that has a title attached to that?
Look, I somewhat get it. I'm the
strongest
like,
on Albert Terrace.
Yeah.
I'm Albert Terrace's strongest man, I think. Yeah. Maybe the guy down the road's pretty strong. I'm the strongest guy under 6 foot with fucking blue eyes and tattoos.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
I can make up titles too.
Yeah, I just I understand where these people are coming from, but like it's part of the sport. You picked the sport. Like that if you want to be at the top level, either don't be or do be.
Go do Capo or WRPF where you can be the 80 kilo teen strongest deadlift with...
Or just go do powerlifting. Or start a federation, put your money behind yourself and pay for testing.
Yeah.
That's the alternative. And no one's going to do it because there's no fucking competitors.
Yeah.
And and most of the time, at most levels, there's probably not anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like intermediate novice comps when you're jumping in there, like it's probably not happening.
Yeah.
If these people are like, oh, I want to be the best, so I want to compete, like, well, the sport.
The funniest thing I find is the people that opt out or talk about somebody and go, oh, I want to have what they're having, or I want to know what they're running because they're so strong. Oftentimes that person doesn't know what they're really doing.
Yeah.
And they just dabble.
Yeah.
And then the person that nobody even looks at is probably going to die in 6 months is still kind of weak and was just like gun-ho from the start.
Yeah. I think...
super inconsistent.
Yeah. People overestimate or underestimate what people are like doing or taking. But also... Like this is something that
it's also focusing on everybody else instead of just
fucking trying to get better and focus on doing what you're doing. You know, it's like I just think as well. Not everyone, doesn't matter what, but like there's a lot of people doing a lot, taking PEDs, training in this sport. You look around the world. Despite that, not everyone's going to be the best.
Yeah,
people who take the fucking most in the world, like not most in the world, but like who take more than the best in the world and can compete in intermediate comps.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it really is dependent on the person. Like you're either going to make it or not. Not everyone gets to be good enough to make it because not everyone's both gifted enough or work hard enough and do that to be able to get to the best.
Life is very unfair.
Yeah, sport's unfair. Sport's not for everyone.
It's like I know people that just do some hamstring curls and their hamstrings are bulletproof and they grow and they get massive. Yeah. When I first started, I'd just press overhead and that worked.
Yeah.
Every time I deadlifted, I'd break.
Yeah.
Some people just take PEDs and blow up.
Yes.
Some people take them and go, why isn't it magic?
Yeah, what's not working?
It's like, unfortunately, you just didn't get the genetic gift card.
Yeah.
Twice.
Sport's not designed to be fair. Sport's supposed to be like the person willing to do the most and genetically blessed enough to be the best. When you put those together, you will be the top.
Yeah.
Or have potential to be the top.
You want to watch the Formula One and those cars go around because they either do something impressive or they crash and burn.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch station wagons race.
But also, like even Formula One, like you don't
want to watch.
You don't get to go to Formula One unless you're born into a millionaire family.
Yeah, there's
you
a
don't
lot
make
of
the seat.
We talk about
it's
that
not
with
fucking fair.
Wakeboarding, snowboarding. There's a lot of sports that if you're not in the middle class, you don't even get to go on the lake.
Yeah,
and get behind a boat. So that sport's out
for sure. But unless you're in the upper class, like the 1%, like the Formula One, I don't know whether you watch like is it Drive to Survive or what is like those guys. They're talking about how if you want to do the kids level go-karting at the highest level and like bridge into Formula One, the sponsorships needed, the money that you need to do that are huge.
Yeah.
You don't get to jump on the fucking tarmac unless your family's got $1 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like then even like you're not going to get a seat at Formula One unless like there's one kid whose dad's a billionaire and runs this race team. So guess who gets to go on there?
So it's not even about who's genetically
not even
the best
who's the
at
best.
Racing.
It's like
who's the richest.
Sport's unfair. Like that's how it goes. Anyway, keep going. What's the next one?
Warm-ups for comps.
Nah, fuck 'em.
Because a lot of the time you don't get them anyway.
Well, yeah, this is the thing that people need to realize because people go, we barely got to warm up and stuff. And it's like, well, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Like I see people and people always go, oh, like deadlifting from 0 to 300 in 10 minutes. And I was like, well, when you go to competition, you're going to have 10 minutes to warm up.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to go do that event. So you're either going to get used to doing bigger jumps or you need to like be quick with how you do it. But you need to be able to prepare your body with as minimal work as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yes, you should be able to warm up. It's athlete injury prevention.
Yeah.
It's important to warm up, but I think that people need to get out of their heads that they get their 30 minutes for each event to warm up and build up to their weight. It's like you should be practicing or training for 10 to 15 minutes of warming up to be able to hit that and execute that event.
Yeah, you also have 10 to 15 people on one bar.
Yeah,
a lot
totally.
of the time, and a lot of people
bigger breaks.
A lot of people aren't friendly with each other.
Yeah. So yes, warm ups, but not as long as what people think they should get.
Just overhead events in general.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Strategically pick something.
Can we scrap monster dumbbell? Block press I like because it's a Hmong overhead event.
The strict variations, obviously.
Yes, of course, overhead events.
Yeah.
All for 'em.
Reffing, judging, soft lockouts, easy reps.
No.
Because when you look at like OSG, consistently over the years, like OSG's been like the quickest, fast-paced, like consistent judging.
Yeah.
But very average judging. Like people get the sandbag to shoulder and it's half off the shoulder. People with the monster dumbbell, it's kind of like out here and they still... People were snatching the monster dumbbells. Yeah. Because they asked beforehand and they're like, you can. But no one else knew that. So someone came out and just swung it and went like that. Yeah. And that was okay. Yeah. So and you could drop deadlifts and things like that.
Yeah,
and
they always say,
quick.
When I was like, when I was there, they said, you can't drop the deadlift. And then everyone guys fucking just drop the deadlift.
They're very quick because the judge is standing like 20 meters back. Yeah. So they can't even be close. They couldn't even explain why you don't get the down call. So I get why it's quick. It makes for a fun comp and a fast comp. Yeah. And it's great. Competing would be so much fun because I'm just kind of here as I'm locking out. Someone's just gone down, you're good. Yeah. And you know that, so you just race it. But would you like to see that more or more make people wait?
I think fast but strict.
You can't have both.
Well, you can. Just like it's up to the athlete. That's on the athlete. Yeah. You can lock out fast and just make sure that you're hitting to the standard.
So it's not fast and quick judging. It's the athlete has to be fast.
Well, it's the comps. Yeah, the comps fast and quick if the athlete sticks to the standards. Still, do you know what I mean?
No, at OSG you just get close.
Yeah, but no,
super quick.
Okay, so in general, the answer is no. We should not be upholding like reffing standards and like holding athletes accountable to movement standards.
Yep,
always.
And if it makes it slower,
otherwise it makes it a fucking joke. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Stones getting set to different heights based on people's heights. So everyone
Sports
does
unfair. Get some fucking platform bands.
Okay. Squat event. Everybody doing squats to the same height. Sports unfair. And go.
How do you do a stone standard in terms of like height versus understanding a depth point, hip crease and knee crease?
A to B. Lift the implement from A to B. Stone goes from A to B. Squat goes from when you unrack the bar to B height.
I feel trapped. Different events, different rules.
Nice cop out. Are you a promoter?
Yeah. It's tradition, huh? That's fucking well done. Well played. You sneaky little...
That's all I got.
Yeah, that was really good though. Yeah, I still think squat to depth is like the standard as if it were in like powerlifting or something like that. And it makes it more transferable. But
it's not powerlifting though.
But I understand what you're saying with the stone thing. That was very clever. Yeah. Cheeky.
I'll think of more.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. That's Lee. Like last night at 11, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get him so fucking good.
No, that was this morning. I had a list of all like the normal standard ones. Yeah, and then I was like, what are some like good ones that I can sort of insert along the way? Try and find some triggering ones.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Have a happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves. We'll see you for Strongman Say 2023.
Done.
Sick.